The panel is I Choose to Challenge by Being a Trailblazer, and this is in association with Josh Talks. Let's meet the women who are shattering gender stereotypes in their fields by going where no woman has gone before. When female role models challenge the status quo, it creates opportunities and aspirations for millions more to break new ground. Get inspired with these stories of these trailblazers who battled the odds to redefine the representation of women in their fields. Now, let me introduce the panel to you. The first panelist is Mrs. Anju Mangla. She is the first women superintendent who took charge of the high security man's prison in Tihar jail. Anju served prison department from September 2013 as superintendent prison, women jail, and took charge of the male jail for young offenders from July 2016 till November 2018. Next on our panel is Sunil Dabas. She is the national kabaddi coach, first women kabaddi coach to win Dronacharya Award and Padma Shri. Sunil is a coach for the national female kabaddi team of India. Over the years, Sunil has coached her team to win 8 international gold medals, including the 2010 Asian Games and the World Cup 2012. Next on the panel is Devika Malik. She's the first Indian woman with a disability to feature in the Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia list. Devika Malik is an international para-athlete, counselor, and co-founder of the Wheeling Happiness Foundation, who has emerged as a resounding global voice in the sphere of inclusivity for people with physical, emotional, and social challenges. And our moderator for this session is Shivani Kaushik. She's the curator for Josh Talks, a writer and conversationalist at heart. Shivani's passion for stories made her join the advertising space, where she began her career as a digital marketing strategist and then found her calling in enabling conversations around stories of individual achievements driven by faith and belief. She now works as a curator for Josh Talks, India's fastest growing vernacular platform. I welcome my panelists and the moderator. I request all of you to turn on your camera.
Thank you, Shreya, for such a lovely introduction to me and to the panel entirely. And I'm super excited to be hosting this panel of the 3 most powerful women that we have today. And I'm sure as much as I'm excited, other 3 participants are equally excited and to be the part of the panel, as well as for the audience who are going to hear amazing stories from these 3 women who have shattered stereotypes, who've shattered all the barriers, physical, societal, personal at any given point of time, just to come out as, warriors and who've made path for women to come on for years and decades. Welcome to everyone. And Shreya had mentioned that Josh Talks is in partnership with TOSB for this conversation. So I'll give a little brief about Josh Talks. So Josh Talks is on a mission to unlock human potential, especially in tier 1 and tier 2 cities, by multiple products such as edutech, through talks, through events that we create throughout the country. And like she had already given an introduction to the panel. So without further ado, I will begin with the first question. To begin with Anju. So Anju, you have done something exceptionally, amazingly so well that nobody could have thought of, to become a superintendent in Tihar jail for all male section, and that too not the grown-ups one, the people who were very young at heart, who were lost, due to lack of family association, to a lack of, education and financial constraints. So how was it for you to, carve that path, because you did not have any role model to look up to? How was your approach when you were dealing with them for the first time?
Yeah, best part of being in a government service is that I got the opportunity to serve in different departments. And my one posting was in Tihar prison. First in women prison, then in male prison. When I was offered to serve in the male prison, I also had my doubts because there was no one who was earlier given the charge of a male prison. But as each doubt is a challenge, I accepted that challenge and decided to be a part of it. I tried to understand the problem being faced by these youths and the reason which led to their incarceration. It is not that I was always successful in bringing out a solution to their problem. Failures were always there, but I did not let failure define me, and rather it make me motivated to take one step forward. I always followed my inner voice and confidently move forward and bring about these changes in the youth.
So when you say about inner voices and taking up head-on challenge, I move to Devika. Devika, you have never compromised on your self-esteem or your self-worth. You say that attitude was everything that made a change and a shift in your approach for everything. So how has that been with you?
So I think we were having this conversation offline where basically we were talking about how not just being a woman, there are so many intersectionalities to our personalities that combine together and sometimes become hurdles in our path. And sometimes, like today, we are here as panelists being firsts in our field. It also leads us to that pinnacle. But as a young child, when you face a disability like me, and especially when it's a seemingly invisible disability, I know what my challenges are because of my disability. I know the neuromotor functions that get restricted because of the disability. But unless you are a medical professional, at first glance, it's not very easy to identify. So then what happens? People, especially young children, when you are a 6-year-old child in a class full of other 6-year-olds, it looks very odd to them, and then you feel bullied, you feel made fun of. But as I got older, I realized it's not really their fault. It's just that we exist in an environment, we exist in a society where unfortunately there aren't enough of us out there because the environment is not accessible enough, not because there aren't enough people with disabilities, but because the environment isn't accessible enough, that we are not everywhere, so people don't see enough of us. So when you see something that looks different, you obviously are taken aback, or you get made fun of, you get bullied, and especially when it's young children. So that's why my parents from the very beginning insisted that you should be a public facing person. So even when I was an 8-year-old, I was one of the youngest people in my school who was debating on stage, who was taking part in dramas, plays, everything that was public facing that was happening in school. My mother always ensured that I'm part of it. Simply because if she had allowed me to retreat into my shell, if she had allowed me to get bothered by being made fun of by my peers, then that would have impacted my self esteem in the long term. And the fact that even as an 8-year-old child, I was doing plays and dramas and debates, I think that is what has got me this far, that today I'm able to use my voice to give back to people like myself, especially women with disabilities who face this double stigma in society, and they are kept away from harnessing their potential. So I'm able to do that work where through my foundation, I'm able to ensure that we give everybody a platform to explore and achieve their potential.
Sure. That was great, like Devika, like your, growing up years have always been about, just proving yourself time and again. Similarly, Sunil Dabas, when she said that there was no penetration of development from the place where she belongs from. And to come up from a village in Haryana to the president's house. Sunil, how has that journey been like with you?
First of all, I would like to congratulate all powerful women of overseas women and all women of India and all panelists to congratulate and happy Women's Day to all of you. Ma'am, actually, I know Devika. She's a powerful girl of a powerful lady. My friend Deepa. Now, my journey from a village where there is no infrastructure for education, no field of sports, nothing was there, and we have in my village up to fifth class a school. So all dropouts from fifth class, all girls sitting in their house because of there were no facilities for schooling, and few parents their girls for education in other nearby villages like 4 to 5 kilometers away from our village. So it's very difficult to come out from a village and for studying to go there in another village. Being a girl, the very tough job for us, and as well as almost parents they are living in an orthodox society. They every day they facing so many comments, so many odd odd things. So that was such negative and odd things we have faced in our life. But a girl always can fly high because when their parents standing with them. I
What a beautiful
believe
line.
in the parents.
Yeah.
If a girl is dreaming because of their parents, parents always give the path to fight against all things, to fight against orthodox society, to fight against all barriers. So I'm a lucky girl because of my parents. My parents always pick up my all hindrances and throughout from my path. So I'm a lucky girl, and always I said all the parents, I request all the parents always give path to their girls. We have a man dominating society, and always man and boys were always on priority basis. So always I said to all villagers, kindly make बूंद लड्डूज for girls also. हमारे गांव में
That is really sweet,
परंपरा
Sunil
होती है
ji.
ना, ऑलमोस्ट सभी गांव में होती है कि बॉयज के लिए वो गोंद के लड्डू बनाते हैं उसकी पावर डेवलपमेंट के लिए. सो ऑलवेज आई रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑल पेरेंट्स, प्लीज गिव देम लड्डूज. वो उनकी जो फिजिकल पावर है वो उसको डेवलप होने दो. सेकंड थिंग, education is a problem for villagers, but there were no opportunities for sports. Sports we have in our village for entertainment. Sand is there, water is there, water only in talabs, and trees were there. Only for entertainment we have three things: water, sand, and trees. So there were no sporting culture, there were no infrastructure for sports. Always we hide our track suits in our bags, go to city, we did their practice, and again we hide our track suits in our bags, and keep our chunnis on our head and fully packed. We came back at our home, so nobody knows about we are playing or not. So
So,
always
Sunil ji, you
we
mentioned two things where you
attention
said that let.
to hide our things from
Yeah, so
society,
Sunil
from
ji,
all almost peoples. And my
yeah.
parents always supported there. My parents always give us a emotional and inspirations for us, motivation for us. So always my parents standing there for me, for my sister, for my brothers. We have I have five siblings, and they all are sports persons. So in my family we have a positive environment for sports. In my family we have a positive environment for education, and always they give us freedom
So, Sunil ji,
for
you said
everything,
things like
not
let
only
the.
for sports, not only for education. So from there I did hard work. There is no substitute for hard work. There is no substitute, no shortcuts for achievements. So always my parents give us a motivation and always a mantra for hard work, devotion, dedication, determination towards my aim, and I achieved through this hard work. Hard work is
the key of success. So my journey started from a village up to Rashtrapati Bhavan. Not only first time, three national awards I achieved, I won. So each and every award have a different value, and each and every award give me a new responsibility to do something new for the society, new for the girls.
Sure. So, Sunil ji, you mentioned three beautiful things like first, let the girl fly. And the second thing that you said that the family should be there to support you throughout. And the third thing was that there is no shortcut for success. And we are here to talk about, being women. Let's not, forget that the challenges and the hurdles have been different. Like, when we look at the boys also, there have been challenges and hurdles for them too in a different manner. But when we talk about being the trailblazers, and when we look at the theme for today, when we say we choose to challenge, so we've made our agendas, we've declared it to the world that I am going to challenge everything that is going to come my way, no matter what. So Anju, what is your take on the theme and the topic that we're talking here, like I choose to challenge? So what are the challenges that you would define? Would you look at challenges from a personal level point of view, or would you look at challenges from external, like the societal ones, the norms that we are challenging? So what is your take on it?
I think there are some barriers, some impositions which are imposed by the society on women, and some inhibitions which women imposed themselves upon them. कि हम नहीं कर पाएंगे. So we have to break these barriers. Like I can recall few lines. जो तुझसे लिपटी बेड़ियां समझना इनको वस्त्र तू, ये बेड़ियां पिघाल कर बना ले तो शस्त्र तू. तो जितने ये बैरियर हैं हमें इन सबको ब्रेक करना है. वी हैव टू बी स्ट्रॉन्ग, बी फोकस्ड, पैशनेट, and we should be open to all kind of challenges, and we have to believe that yes, we can do it. That make women going the difference in the society.
So Anju, can you tell us about 2 to 3 challenges that were the most difficult ones? Because the profile, the job that you were doing at that point of time was a challenge in itself. So what was your approach? What was your mindset like back then? Because you were the first one to do it, because there was no right or wrong that you had in mind. So how was that on you like?
It was like when I was offered this posting to handle this male prison, even my colleagues were not supportive. They were very sarcastic at that time. He de diya waise hi type. But I was like a deaf frog who did not listen to any of these negative things in my life, and I just moved forward. Apart from this, there are like challenges which we always see in the society, as a family, as a society, which are being faced by these youths. They are like full of energy, full of vigor, that is a very impressionable age. They can be misguided at the smallest pretext. So that biggest thing I faced in my prison, because youth are the nation of the family, and if they don't get the right guidance, we can see where our new nation will go. Then I started to understand what kind of problem they are facing, why they are committing crime, why they are on the other side of the law. And one reason I found that they lack the family bonding, the family guidance, and because of that they get victim to they use different kind of drugs, and because of use of that drug they commit crime either to procure the drugs or under the influence of the drugs. So the first program which I started in my prison is this drug de-addiction counseling on this. So after that, the second aspect comes, how to make them financially independent once they got released from the prison. So for that, there were so many vocational courses we started, which were like courses which were in demand at that point of time.
where they will get the employment. And apart from this, the other challenge which I face, uh, by committing crime, they will get like by snatching a chain, they will earn so much in a second. But working hard for 30 days a month and earning that kind of income, why I should not go for snatching and why should I go for the hard work? That change, I have to change that mindset also. For that, life skills and meditation courses are also started.
So,
And
Anju, you are basically giving them choices as to what can be done alternatively rather than just focusing them, just focusing towards ki how I should make them a better human being. You were giving them, choices as to look at
yeah,
different sides.
true.
Yeah.
And we have to like start our programs like that, which they are facing in the society. Ultimately, they are going to release and they have to live in the society where they will be facing different kind of problems. If they will not get employment, they will again be committing crimes and again be back in the prison, which we don't want. So we have to we have to focus our programs on that area.
Sure. So when we talk about choices, Devika, what were the kind of choices that you made for yourself to get, you had to like fight literally with the system that you were a part of to, actually coming in Forbes 30 under 30, being the first woman under disability to feature on Forbes 30 under 30. So what were the kind of choices that you made throughout your journey?
I think for me, the choice was always whether to listen to what the society deems acceptable or what the society deems doable for a woman or a woman with disability or a person with disability, whether we follow those norms or whether we just focus on what am I passionate about, where does my potential lie, and then how do I go about harnessing my existing support system or building my own support system to actually go forward and achieve what I want to achieve. And for me, my achievements, my personal achievements, or anything that I have done in my life, even the fact that I studied psychology in school was influenced by the fact that, I have observed the way my mother has lived her life, the way she has harnessed challenges and risen above them, and always done it in a way that she gives back to the community. So for me, all my achievements, all my goals have been tied up with somehow giving back to the community in terms of especially women with disabilities. How do I move more people like myself forward with me? So like Anju ma'am was also just saying that you need to be aware of what are the challenges that people will face in real time in their real environments. Without that proposing solutions or without that implementing any programs, it's not going to be sustainable. So earlier when you were talking about challenges, whether they are extrinsic or intrinsic, I feel like to a large extent, um, challenges are something external, because if we lived in a world where everybody was equal, everything was fair, everything was just, everybody got the same opportunities, everything was inclusive, then there wouldn't be any challenges as such. So challenges are external in that sense, and how we respond to those challenges is what is intrinsic. So one way to respond to the challenge is, internalize misogyny, internalize ableism. Then as a woman, you yourself, if you internalize misogyny because of the society that you live in, you yourself believe कि क्योंकि मैं एक औरत हूँ, मुझे इतना ही मिलेगा, या यही मेरी जगह है, यही मेरा काम है. So when you yourself start believing those things that the patriarchy perpetuates, then you cannot grow beyond that, because you've kind of brainwashed yourself into believing that that is your scope. So
Yeah.
versus the other way of responding to that challenge is that you grow beyond what the society defines, you grow beyond what the environment around you is telling you, and that is where the support system comes in. What Sunil ma'am has so beautifully put, that if your family is the wind beneath your wings, And I think those are the kind of people that when we come to these platforms, that is one of the things that is common with all the people who reach this far, is that there is somebody in their life along the lines who believed in them and gave them that support. So also I think as women, we need to be mindful that we have to become that support system in somebody's life. Like Anju ma'am would have, transformed so many lives by providing that kind of support system, providing those kind of rehabilitative programs. Similarly, that is what we try to do with the foundation and, working for women with disabilities. So it's all about how you respond to the challenge.
So Devika, you said that we as women, we've taken challenges head on and, we've internalized and everything. But that's one thing that I feel that we as women forget, and it's a very basic and a very small thing, when it comes to, we forget to have fun. Correct me if I'm wrong, we are so focused, which is a brilliant thing. Second, we are not deviating. We know what our purpose, our goals, our purpose and goals are set. But like they say, do what you love and you'll never work a day. So, we as women, I think we forgot to have a little fun on our way. So Sunil ji, how would you say this? कि मतलब आप काम तो कर ही रहे हैं, but मतलब उसको खुश होके करो, मजे से करो, मतलब और हम women, हम औरतों को ऐसा लगता है कि नहीं, ये मेरा काम है तो मैं इसे ऐसे ही करने वाली हूँ, अगर मैं जरा सी भी डिस्ट्रैक्ट हुई तो लोग क्या सोचेंगे, या फिर रोल मॉडल वाला जो एस्पेक्ट आ जाता है कि रोल मॉडल्स ऐसे नहीं होते हैं. सो सुनील जी, व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन इट कि हाउ शुड वुमेन इनकॉर्पोरेट द फन एलिमेंट व्हेन ईदर, अगर वो कबड्डी खेल रहे हैं या फिर वो सुपरिटेंडेंट है या फिर वो किसी के को एक नई डायरेक्शन में देने के लिए जा रहे हैं. सो सुनील जी, व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन दिस?
Actually, we are living in a society where there were, I think, so much inequality. Because our 70% population lives in villages, and there were a system, there were so many hindrances in front of girls, especially girls, because they have a special area for boys and a special area for girls. So
True.
they protected girls, not they are loving their girls, but they are overprotective. They are so sensitive about their girls. That's why they are protected them, and they were so orthodox about girls. That's why I'm asking every parent, why you covered the girls more than your boys? Let them free. Freedom always give them confidence. My father always said to me, when I went out from my home, every day they ask only a single word, Rangroot beta kidhar chala. They give me so much confidence. Rangroot means एक आप सोचते हो ना आर्मी में होता है रंगरूट जिसको ट्रेन किया जाता है. So I think I was that time in under training under my father. So always he gives me a confidence higher level. Always asked me, Rangroot beta kidhar chala. Always said to me. If a parent give confidence to their girls, give freedom to the girls, they can do each and everything. They can touch heights. They can do nothing is impossible in front of girls. Because of
confidence given by parents is the key of success.
So we've talked about confidence, we've talked about the self-esteem, the self-worth, and multiple other things. But I feel that we need to have like a little fun of our own, like in the journey that because when we look back, these experiences are the things that make us who we are at this point of time. So Anju, what would you suggest, like if there's one thing that you would suggest to the women who are trying to make a difference in their life, and who are going to come back in generations to come? So what would your suggestion be to them, like who are going to be the next ones filling in your shoes?
I think women view work more holistically, like as a component of their overall life plan. They take their career as a in a self-reflective way. Women are more sensitive towards well-being of others, and they are naturally sympathetic and they value relationship. So, by building trust between the prisoner, by understanding their emotional needs, but trust is built between like prisoners and me, and that trust they have faith in me that I'm always there for their well-being. It helped me in developing so many programs, and it helped me in changing their mindsets, and it helped me in changing, bringing the reformation in them. And like now, when I was there, I was the only female superintendent, and now, as on date, I think there are 3 or 4 women who are now handling May prison also. So that is a one thing. Women are
And
very-
yeah, Devika, what would your suggestion or something? What do you feel would be the biggest challenge? Because now we are in a space that we've been talking about equality. We're talking about different areas. Multiple things have opened up for women equally, and we've started looking ourselves as equals compared to what it was before. Initially it was a fight for education, which still continues to be there, but more or less we've reached a height where we can confidently say कि मतलब हाँ, हमारे देश में जो लड़कियां हैं वो लड़कों के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिला के चल रही हैं. सब नहीं चल रही हैं, बट एक चेंज एक वो आया है. So what do you think would be the biggest challenge for the generation of women behind you? Like what do you think would be the biggest challenge, Devika?
Okay, so here I think we need to come back to the term patriarchy. A lot of times on social media, it becomes a war of words where people perceive it as, men versus women. But that's not what it is. Patriarchy as a system, it adversely affects men as much as it adversely affects women. So, men are also from the very beginning, since their childhood, taught these kind of toxic concepts that you have to be macho, you have to be the sole breadwinner, you have to call all the shots. So, the challenge for women coming up now is that we have talked so much about women empowerment. We have worked so much on ensuring that women have an equal stand, and we work so hard to ensure that women get all the same opportunities. But simultaneously, is there enough being done from childhood level, from kindergarten level, to give men and boys that kind of exposure and understanding that these are your counterparts, these are your equals? That is a gap that will be a challenge for women coming forward. क्योंकि एज विमेन हम आगे बढ़ गए, हमने अपने आप को एजुकेट कर लिया, हमने अपने गोल्स बना लिए, एम्स एंड ड्रीम्स बना लिए, एंड वी आर परसुइंग देम. बट tomorrow, if I find a partner, or I go into a household, or I live among a brother and a father who, because of the toxic masculinity that they have been raised with, they are uncomfortable with a woman, holding that kind of charge. They are uncomfortable with a woman earning 50% or 60% or sometimes 100% of the household income. Then again, we will go into a regression where it will start holding us back. So I think the challenge now coming forward is not just the empowerment of women. The challenge is also changing the mindset of society as a whole, men and women included, to understand कि हम बराबर हैं, we are part of a whole. In Indian mythology, if you look at Shivji, he's one of his forms, it's Ardhanarishwar. So until unless the masculine and the feminine combine, you cannot make a whole, you cannot make a powerful entity. So that mindset change is going to be a challenge now that we have to overcome collectively as a society, men and women and gender fluid people. Basically, gender is a spectrum, sexuality is a spectrum. Let's not get stuck in binaries and focus our energies on equality, focus our energy on living in harmony together. It all sounds wonderful. This is what we want. But yes, it's going to be a challenge to get there.
So, Devika, you've beautifully said that mindset ki change ki baat. And I think, Sunil ji, you've been trying to change the mindset since the very beginning by saying ki goond ke laddu bana do. That's the minutest thing that you can talk about changing the mindset कि अपने लड़कियों को भी खिलाओ, उनको भी ताकत आनी चाहिए. So what do you feel that women coming behind you, like, for the coming generation, what is the biggest challenge? For Devika, she said that, it's about changing the mindset, which you've been doing. Yeah. So what do you think are the next challenges?
Well said by Devika about harmony and togetherness. The same thing in my mind. Actually, in villages, I belong to villages. So that's why I'm repeatedly saying this type of words, villages, because of our 70% population live there. So they have a mindset, but our society is totally fluctuated and flexible about development. If development penetrate to undeveloped or villages, definitely they will set their mind, they will change their mind. For example, in my own village, we have a special mindset about girls. Girls can't go anywhere out our village. So in few years back, I was there. So many restrictions, so many hindrances. I was. But today, when in 2010, when we won gold medal in Asian Games, and almost villagers saw the matches on a big screen. They used the tractors for lighting. In my village, they have no lighting, so they used to see the matches, and always they say, "ये हमारी बेटी है." That time I was a बेटी of my father, but today they said, "ये हमारी बेटी है." Now I become a beti of my village. Now I become a beti of my district. Now I become a beti of my state and India. So this is the transformation. This is the acceptance. This is the flexibility and flexible mind of the society. उनके अंदर चेंज आता है यदि आपने कुछ ऐसा कर दिखाया जो रोल मॉडल बन गया, और रोल मॉडल ऑलवेज चेंज द माइंडसेट. मेरे गांव में जो हमें ट्रैक सूट भी नहीं पहनने देते थे, and today we have seen, I have started a state academy for women kabaddi from the help of the Haryana state government. Now their mothers sitting there to saw their matches. Mothers are घूंघट, आप सोच सकते हो इतना लंबा घूंघट निकाल के स्टेडियम में मदर्स बैठी रहती हैं और उनकी बेटियां उनके सामने शॉर्ट्स में खेल रही हैं. जो गांव कभी बेटियों को ट्रैक सूट नहीं पहनने देता था, now they allowed their girls for playing in shorts. This is the transformation, this is the change. So हर गांव के अगर कोई भी लड़की एक रोल मॉडल के रूप में डेवलप होती है, she can change each and everything. उनका माइंड सेट बदल चुका है. अब वो मेरे से ही पूछते हैं जो कभी मुझे स्पोर्ट्स में शायद देखना नहीं करते, अगर उनको पहले पता होता, अचीवमेंट्स आई हैं चारों तरफ, हमारी एक पॉपुलैरिटी बढ़ी है, और पूरा इंडिया के अंदर एक मीडिया ने जो इतना हेल्प किया है, मीडिया का भी बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है. तो वो जो चारों तरफ एक बेटी का नाम लेके, ये सुनील डबास, ये मोहम्मदपुर माजरा गांव की लड़की है और इसने ये कर दिखाया वगैरह वगैरह, जब ये चीज कुछ निकल कर आती है, पॉजिटिविटी में आती है, डेफिनेटली दे विल चेंज देयर माइंडसेट. दे हैव चेंज्ड. नाउ आई सा इन माय विलेज हैव चेंज्ड. और ये जो एक रोल मॉडल के रूप में किसी भी बेटी को काम करना पड़ता है, वो ही चेंज ला सकती है. और आज नॉट ओनली इन हरियाणा, ओवर आवर इंडिया, so many girls, powerful girls came out from the society. They struggling a lot. They faced so many hindrances, and today their successful stories. So many girls inspired from their stories. So I said totally, first you do something, do hard work, and your achievements can change around surroundings, and so many upcoming and unleashing girls. So my thought totally about the work and success stories is the key of other motivational success stories can create.
So Sunil ji, आपने बड़ी ही प्यारी तरीके से you've summed up everything कि transformation हो जाएगा, but you be at it. And the transformation that Anju we saw and we've heard about that the number of repeated offenders had reduced ever since you were given the charge as the superintendent for the minor, male cell. So how was that like? Do you think that being a woman in that whole setup helped that transformation, that the number of repeated offenders had reduced and, there had been a shift in the mindset of the people around?
Yes, like being a woman, I was able to connect them emotionally, and that's why I able to understand their problems and worked on it. But जैसे देविका ने बहुत अच्छे से कहा कि why we are growing them as a male or a female. We should grow them as a child or as a person. So we started with this also. We also told them कि आप male हो तो ये नहीं है कि आप अपना जो barrack है जहाँ आपका living area है वो इतना unkept होगा. You should fold your clothes, you should tie it up, you should do everything. Even there are so many other. There was once a mock parliament in which we have given them a topic to pass a bill on women and child, and they so beautifully enacted. Even the High Court judges appreciated it so much. So एक mindset जो change as a मतलब कि family से हमें शुरू करना चाहिए. बताना चाहिए कि what is right and what is wrong, and not if you are a male you have to do this, and if you are a female you have to do this. That being a woman, I was able to connect with them and able to generate a trust between us, and that helped me to. So they are ready to take values which they were not getting outside. So much so that when they are getting released, so they were saying कि if ये values उन्हें बाहर मिली होती तो शायद वो ये अंदर नहीं होते. And one benchmark इसका ये था हमारे पास एक हम कहें कि मापने का तरीका कि वहाँ number of repeaters they were reduced substantially. So rightly said, we have to work hard. We have to understand their emotions. We have to understand their problems and work on it.
So, I mean, you three have so beautifully given this you've put it out so beautifully in words, when we hear the word challenge, we hear the word women, and when we hear the word trailblazers, suddenly everything is about, oh my God, ye kaise hua hoga ya kaise kiya hoga. But, the key is in the small elements, is in the small steps that we've taken as women, by breaking things step by step, rather than just going at it completely and questioning like, ऐसा क्यों है और वैसा क्यों है. We've, somehow accepted it कि शायद हाँ ऐसा होता है, but then it is my turn to break it, one by one. So Shreya, I will pass it on to you for, the questions given by the audience for the panel. Over to you, Shreya.
Thank you so much, Shivani. This was an amazing panel. We had such diverse panelists, and each one had such an amazing story that, even I can't make up my mind that whose journey has been more challenging and inspiring. And the audience is also, I mean, we're getting so many reactions from the audience. They're loving, hearing about the journeys for all three of you. I'll start with the questions. I have a question from Alan. Devika, this will be for you. And it's a very relevant question. Kindly help us understand how to spread awareness on the crippling disabilities and mindset and thinking as a prerequisite to truly understand persons with disability. Sometimes people don't even know what are the sensitivities. I mean, you may not be want to be dealt with or considered in a certain manner, but as a person who doesn't understand, who has no sensitivities towards disabled people, people just sometimes are really insensitive. So how can that mindset be changed?
So I think, Shreya, it again comes back to what I said about my childhood, about not having visibility of enough of us out there. And that is a vicious circle to do with the lack of accessibility of infrastructure. So the more we design our environment in a way that it caters to everyone, because again, if you're making infrastructure accessible, it's not just for me as a disabled person or someone who uses a wheelchair. That same ramp, for example, can be used by someone who is carrying a baby in a stroller, or people, all of us get old at some point, and have difficulty with our mobility. So it helps the elderly. So we just need to think about our environment a little more magnanimously. And I think all of us can do that by being a little more aware of where we live in terms of like our physical environment and also our mindsets. Of course, now we are moving in a direction where a lot of people are a lot more careful in terms of, how they are talking to people with disabilities or how they're talking about people with disabilities. There are norms internationally about what kind of language to use. But even in that, sometimes people out of some extra concern will be like, if my mother is sitting on a wheelchair, they just assume that she needs help and they start pushing her around without first seeking a permission. Or just because somebody looks disabled in any which way, like if you can see that somebody has a visual impairment, it is very easy to see that. But automatically, then people will start talking to them loudly. You somehow, any kind of disability, and a person automatically assumes that, maybe they don't understand really well as well. That's not the case. Disability is as within the disabled community, there is as much diversity as anywhere else. So I think as people, what we need to do is basically treat everyone as people first. Even if you're trying to be helpful, even if that is your outlook, ask. If you feel that somebody might need help, ask them if they need help. And that is similarly for people, not just with people with disabilities. I think this is a challenge that generally as women we have, that because we live in this dichotomy of, we don't want to be perceived as weak, or people automatically perceive that we are weak. Sometimes we are hesitant to ask for help. So it is that balance of being willing to ask for help and being willing to offer help. So when that balance is there, and I am out here asking for help when I need it, and you are out there offering help rather than imposing it on me, I think that will be a beautiful balance. And that's a good way for us to generally, not just with people with disabilities, but generally navigate our way around the world and interact with people.
Thank you so much, Devika. You explained it so beautifully. Anjuji, there's a question for you. So most of us, are apprehensive and critical about the government administration. So Danish is saying that the government machinery wheel moves very slow. How did you keep going strong and deal with this crisis? So being in the system itself, did you also feel that, it's a little challenging to be in the system and get things going? Or is it only something that, we as civilians feel that, oh, it's very difficult to get things done in a government department?
No, it is true. We have to abide by all rules and regulations. And but thing is, when there is a where there is a will, there is a way. So when you strongly face anything, then things automatically fall in place. So कुछ नहीं भी होता था sanction, तो we find another way to find it. It's not कि we stop our work over there. We took help of so many NGOs. So we invited them to develop so many programs in our visit, because we also, as a government, we also have some constraints. Seek their help. So the system is there because you have to abide by rules and regulation, but within that binding, to we still move forward. It's not key.
We have to be persistent, basically. You have to keep pushing. Thank you so much. Sunil ji, this last question for you. एक तो सब लोग आपके फैन हो गए, सब गोंद के लड्डू खाने वाले हैं घर आके आपके, और ये क्वेश्चन आपके लिए है काफी इंटरेस्टिंग कि मोस्टली लड़कियां ये फील करती हैं और कहती हैं कि काश मैं लड़का पैदा हुई होती तो मैं ये कर लेती, मैं वो कर लेती. तो एज यू हैव स्पोकन इन योर नैरेटिव ऑल्सो, आपके आसपास जितने भी आपके ट्रेनीज होते हैं, टीम्स वाले होते हैं, उनमें से भी कभी आपको लगता है कि ये फील कर रही है कि मुझे इतनी स्ट्रगल इसलिए करनी पड़ रही है क्योंकि मैं लड़की हूँ? सो अगर ऐसा कोई कुछ कहता है तो हाउ डू यू डील विद इट? आप उसको कैसे समझाते हो?
विमेन वर्ल्ड की सबसे बेस्ट और सबसे प्यारी क्रिएटिविटी है, भगवान की दी हुई. सो ऑलवेज थैंक गॉड आई एम ए वुमन. आई एम प्राउड टू बी ए वुमन. मैं किसी को भी लड़की को ये नहीं कहूंगी कि आप लड़की क्यों. मैं सभी को ये बोलती हूँ, भगवान ने लड़की उसी को बनाया है जिसके अंदर भगवान कुछ अच्छा देखना चाहता है. मैन कंपैरेटिवली टू मैन, women, men have 33% less emotions than women. तो भगवान ने जब हमें इमोशंस से इतना नवाजा है, हमारे अंदर कुछ एक्स्ट्रा गुण डाले हैं, तो हमको एक पॉजिटिविटी मिले. हमें ये नहीं सोचना है कि हम women हैं, नहीं कर सकते, वो नहीं कर सकते. इवन मैं सोचती हूँ कि बहुत सारे आदमी हमसे ज्यादा कमजोर है. हम कमजोर नहीं हैं. हमारे अंदर भगवान ने कुछ गुण दिए हैं, वो इसलिए कि आप बहुत कुछ संभाल सकते हैं. मैं गर्ल्स को हमेशा अपने आप पे सबसे फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, यू शुड प्राउड टू बी ऑन योर ओन एंटिटी. दूसरे के बारे में तब सोचिए जब आपके अंदर बहुत सारी कुछ चीजें दी हैं, उसको एक्सप्लोर कीजिए. एक्सप्लोर करने के बाद अगर आपके सामने कुछ हिंड्रेंसेज आती हैं, let them fight with those orthodox things. मेरा जो मानना है, मेरे गांव में मेरे से ज्यादा हिंड्रेंसेज शायद किसी ने नहीं झेली होगी, लेकिन मैंने कभी भी, मेरी हमेशा एक पॉइंट रहता था. मदर मुझे हमेशा कहती थी, अभी तो शी इज नो मोर ड्यू टू कोरोना, बट उनका एक पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग ये रहती है कि आप सोसाइटी में नेगेटिव लोगों के साथ नेगेटिव चीजों को पॉजिटिव करने में अपना दिमाग ना लगाएं. आप अपने अंदर पॉजिटिविटी डेवलप करें, सोसाइटी खुद ब खुद पॉजिटिव हो जाएगी. अगर आपकी अचीवमेंट आती है, आपकी पॉजिटिविटी चारों तरफ फैलती है, तो सोसाइटी बदलने के लिए सोसाइटी को मजबूर करिए. सोसाइटी को तोड़िए मत, मरोड़िए मत. सोसाइटी के साथ झगड़ा मत करिए. सोसाइटी के साथ अपनी एनर्जी को वेस्ट मत करिए. सोसाइटी तो उनको जैसा डेवलपमेंट का चारों तरफ एरिना मिला है, वो वैसे ही डेवलप. उसको आप बहुत कुछ नहीं बदल सकते. आप बदल सकते हैं तो खुद को बदलिए. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू शुड चेंज योर सेल्फ. हमें अपने आप को सोसाइटी के सोसाइटी विल चेंज to see your achievements, to see your idleness. आपको, अगर आप अपने आप को एक मॉडल बना लेते हैं, डेफिनेटली सोसाइटी विल फॉलो यू. तो सोसाइटी तो आपकी फैन हो सकती है, आपको बनाना आना चाहिए. आपको अपने अंदर वो सारे डालने चाहिए जो आप, सोसाइटी आपकी फैन हो जाए, आपके फैन फॉलोइंग बढ़े. तो पॉजिटिवनेस के साथ आप आगे बढ़िए. सोसाइटी के साथ फाइट मत करिए, वो अवगुणों के साथ फाइट करिए. और आप, अगर आपने अपने अंदर गुण डाल लिए, तो सोसाइटी भी आपके गुणों के साथ चलने के लिए और आपको फॉलो करने के लिए मजबूर. सोसाइटी को चेंज करिए, तो सोसाइटी आपके साथ चेंज हो जाएगी. तो ये मेरी माँ का एक मूल मंत्र था. आई फॉलो माई मदर ऑलवेज, शी कीप मी ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव. मैं कभी भी, मेरी माँ के साथ कभी भी भेदभाव होता था छोटा छोटा, तो मैं, मुझे कई बार गुस्सा आता था, तो मेरी माँ हमेशा मुझे पॉजिटिव कर देती थी. नो, आपको, दिस इज नॉट द प्लेस फॉर यू. यू शुड कीप क्वाइट एंड यू डू हार्ड वर्क. You do hard work and give results.
Yes.
Results to society. They will see. वो देखेंगे कि आप कुछ हो. तो ये जो एक पॉजिटिवनेस है, ये मैंने हमेशा मेरी मदर से सीखी है। मैं सभी जो पेरेंट्स हैं उनसे ही हमेशा रिक्वेस्ट करती रहती हूँ, और बेटियों के लिए और बहनों के लिए मैं 2-4 लाइनें कहती हूँ। आज हमारी सोसाइटी में बहनों की पावरफुल हो चुकी है। आज भारत की बेटियां विश्व में छाने लगी है, मंजिल उनके हाथ आने लगी है, और दूर हो गए हैं बेटियों के जिंदगी के अंधेरे। आज हर माँ बाप अपने इतराने लगे हैं, आज हर माँ बाप बेटियों पे इतराने लगे हैं। तो
Thank you so much.
एक पॉजिटिव क्रिएशन है गॉड की, और उसको एक्सेप्ट कीजिए, और उसको आप ब्यूटीफुल हैं और उसको हमेशा ब्यूटीफुल बनाइए। दैट्स द ग्रेस ऑफ गॉड।
थैंक यू सो मच सुनील जी, आपने एक ही आंसर में बहुत सारी बड़ी बड़ी बातें हमें बता दी, एंड वी विल ऑल ट्राई टू बी वेरी पॉजिटिव एंड नॉट वेस्ट आवर एनर्जीज ट्राइंग टू कन्वर्ट द नेगेटिव्स इनटू पॉजिटिव्स। एंड वैसे भी सोशल मीडिया का टाइम है, फैंस ही बढ़ाने हैं सबने, सो अपनी पॉजिटिविटी से बढ़ाते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू देविका, thank you Anju ji for your time. Thanks Shivani for beautifully moderating this session, and we'll meet again, we'll do more conversations, and thank you for joining us today.